Hey folks, how's it going? Thanks for checking out the video. I'm Johnny. Today, something a bit different. Today we're going to do a book review of Pro Power BI Theme Creation. Okay, so Pro Power BI Theme Creation. It's written by Adam Aspin and it's published by Apress, or is it Apress? Not quite sure how you say it. Anyway, you can buy it from their website. I will of course make sure I put a link to it in the description. And it kind of does what it says in the tin. It's a book to help guide you through creating advanced themes in Power BI using JSON. I have done a video previously about creating themes, specifically about backgrounds. If you haven't seen that already, I'll put a link for you here. Now, one thing I will say, this really isn't the type of book that you're likely to read cover to cover. It's around about 300 pages long, and the first 4 chapters of that, which is around about 90 pages, kind of a general overview, not only of how the themes work in Power BI, but also a bit of an overview of how the language that we use to write themes, JSON, how that's structured and how that works. Now, I've used theme files with Power BI since they were made available, and I'd always kind of knew enough to get by without necessarily, understanding them as thoroughly as perhaps I should have done. I was always able to get the results I wanted, but I wouldn't sort of class myself as being someone who was expert in JSON. I just kind of knew enough. Reading this book has really expanded my knowledge of how those themes are structured, how JSON itself works as well. It's well written and easy to follow along with. Sometimes reading technical books can be quite hard going, but I personally found the author's style really accessible. I thought the concepts were explained really clearly, and I found the style informative without being boring. So after those first 4 chapters, which give a general overview, it really becomes more of a reference book. So there are 8 further chapters that go really in depth on every possible formatting property you might ever want to apply in Power BI. There's pages and pages of example code and example JSON. I still found that reading the first of those chapters, chapter 5, was kind of a good introduction to the way that those chapters are structured and the way it presents those information. But beyond chapter 5, I kind of skimmed through the rest. They're, like I say, much of a muchness, just talking about different properties of different visuals. Make sure though you don't miss out on the last chapter, chapter 13, which talks about cascading styles. I found that really interesting and it helped give me a better understanding of how I could structure my themes to be more efficient. What I think would be really useful, rather than me just talking about the book, is to actually show you some of the results I've managed to achieve using some of the things I've learned from reading it. So let's have a look at a report. Now, you might recognise this report. It's the same report that was used in my custom background hack video. And in that video, I demonstrated a couple of themes that I'd created. One of them was a dark theme. Which was kind of cool, but one of the things that always bugged me about it is that the property for the slices, I didn't know how to set it. I couldn't get away from it just defaulting to this pale grey. It's not a property that you can set using the inbuilt theme generator in Power BI. So I hopped across to the excellent powerbi.tips website and to their advanced theme generator. But unfortunately, it's not a property that they offer that you're able to set either. So I did try a few things out, see if I could try and second guess what the right property to set was, but I just couldn't get it to work and eventually I just gave it up and left it be. However, now being able to use the book for reference, I was able to locate exactly which properties as part of those slicer items I do need to set, and I've had some success. So now if I import version 2, there we go, I'm able to get exactly the results I want. So the book has already proved valuable to me, but the other example I really wanted to talk you through is cascading colours, which I think is brilliant. Now, I didn't realise this was something you could do, and now that I know you can, I know that I'm going to use it absolutely loads. Let's take a look at another report. So here I've set up this really bright, bold theme. The theme by default sets these cards to have a really bold orange background, and then a little bit more subtly on my tables and matrices, I have a orange theme for my table accents too. And you can tell from this bar graph as well, orange is the first colour in my colour palette. Now, historically what I would have done is set the properties for each of these visual types individually. So I would have found the property for card backgrounds and set that to orange, find the property for my table accents, set that to orange, and so forth. But with cascading colours, I don't need to do that. What you can do is you can make the colours used within your visual styles relative to your colour palette. Best thing to do is show you in the JSON file for this particular theme. So up here at the top, these are my data colours for my colour palette. And this first one listed here is orange, and then the second one down is purple. So I'm just going to switch those around. And save that. And now I go back to my Power BI file. And if I import this again, so just making that one subtle change to my theme file, literally moving purple to be the first colour listed in my colour palette, has cascaded through my entire theme. So the background for my cards has picked up the change, as has my table accents, as well as purple now being the first colour that appears on my bar graph. This is going to be a huge time saver for me. So I really do think this book is worth purchasing, especially if you care about your reports looking slick, and even more so if you want to be efficient in the ways that you can apply themes across multiple pages in a report, or even multiple reports. And yes, technical books can be quite expensive, but I really do think they're worth the investment. In fact, I think the best endorsement of this book I can give is this. I was actually approached by the publisher of this book and given a preview copy of the book for free. And I was given it in an electronic format, so I just had to read it on my Kindle. But I found the content to be so useful that I went out and bought a physical, full price, paper version of the book with my own money. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth the purchase. I hope that's been useful. As always, if you've got any comments or feedback, please don't hesitate to use that comment section below. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow along for more content about Power BI, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks once again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.